Turn a video game into a television series or a movie and chances are you'll come out on the other end with egg on your face. Think Dwayne Johnson and his cringeworthy attempt in Doom. Or the string of attempts and failures to get Resident Evil right for the screen. But why exactly is Henry Cavill especially proud of The Witcher, especially the Blaviken fight? Remember to keep watching, there are a whole host of revelations in this video. First, the producers found the ideal leading man. Most filmmakers just don't seem to have what it takes to cook up fresh content and a faithful adaptation into a delectable, mouth-watering television screen dish. Solving this ongoing adaptation problem is what made The Witcher so impressive. What the cast and crew achieved in this production is nothing short of astounding. Casting Henry Cavill as the leading man was perfect. His credibility and performance proved to be the first steps to bringing the characters and worlds of the video game to on-screen life. But the way the story translated from the video game universe to the television screen is not the only thing Cavill's proud of. Then, they broke a few rules. The reason so many video game adaptations are such profound movie flops is that they tend to try to stick with some mystical set of predetermined rules. That's a bit like trying to bake a chocolate cake with a vanilla cake recipe. Melanie McFarland of Salon Magazine makes a valid point. She says, quote, "Among the many things that this show does right is defying the ancient sword and sorcery traditions of the White Knight Savior and the goodness of some kings countering other rulers' evil." So, tick that, rules broken and breaking the rules change the recipe, which is why the series shines. Henry Cavill has to be proud of, for sure, but is there more? And they went on to shatter a few records. When talking about The Witcher, Henry Cavill could point to a whole host of achievements and accolades that made him proud. For instance, The Witcher's one of the very few video game adaptations that received an overwhelmingly positive response. The show topped the Netflix charts with a record-breaking style. Season 1 turned out to be the second most watched English-language series on the Netflix streaming service with more than 76 million views. The first season of Bridgerton was the only series that bettered it with 82 million views. Season 2 continued where Season 1 had left off. It solidified The Witcher's dominance with a staggering 462.5 million viewing hours in the first 28 days. That means both seasons of the series are in the top 10 most viewed series on the Netflix platform. Ever. Not together, individually. These may well be what Henry Cavill is so proud of, but why not hear it in his own words? Of course, it is also that fight scene. For those of you that remember, and face it, who can forget, the first Witcher episode came to an end with an amazing showdown. It featured a long continuing shot, incredible camera movements, fantastic choreography, and some of the best hand-to-hand fight sequences ever. After 2 seasons with The Witcher, Henry Cavill has become a Geralt of Rivia. He sat down for an interview with BBC Radio 1 to have a chat about the one thing he's proudest of in the entire series, and the answer takes us back to the first episode. The spectacular 4-minute fight scene in the pilot was all swordplay and intricate choreography, but according to the Radio 1 interview, there was no specific movement or micro-sequence that stands out for Cavill. Rather, it is the entire scene. So, the Blaviken fight is what blows his hair back when he thinks about the series thus far. He worked with Wolfgang Stegemann and his team to design the sequence, more about that later. In the interview, Cavill says, quote, "We are very proud of that fight. It's storytelling. The characters exist within the action. We're very determined to do it our way, and it's just a beautiful piece." So what is it about that scene? It is in the Blaviken fight that Cavill's character Geralt got his nickname, the Butcher of Blaviken. Renfri's gang ambushes him in the streets. What follows is a one-take scene with powerfully technical moves that require split-second timing from both the cast and crew. Cavill explains the intricacies of the scene in a Netflix short feature. His passion and depth during his interview illustrate how profoundly entrenched he is in the character. It also gives viewers a glimpse of the difficulties and dangers involved in pulling off such a scene. The success of the series, the record-breaking viewer statistics, the way the video game translates onto the television screen, these are all things Cavill could wear as an insignia of success. But it was the main 4 minutes of the first episode in the first season, the Blaviken fight, that stole the proverbial show for him. Now, related news, The Witcher Season 3 is currently in production and is slated for a 2023 release. The Witcher Blood Origin is the live-action prequel to The Witcher and is currently in post-production following a fortnight of reshoots. If all goes according to plan, it will be a Christmas 2022 release. The events of Andrzej Sapkowski's Sapkowski's fourth Witcher book, Time of Contempt, will form the broad backbone of Season 3. Geralt and Ciri's relationship will form the keystone of the season. As they start learning more about Geralt's powers, different factions hunt Ciri, and consequently Geralt will be forced to change his neutral stance on the politics of the continent. With so many rumors swirling around the production of Season 3, the biggest question remains, is everything on track for the release? But there was a slight speed wobble. Production on The Witcher Season 3 was briefly halted in July. This happened in the middle of filming the season's most ambitious sequence, the Thanid Ball. The reason? Henry Cavill tested positive for COVID. Luckily, everything is back on track and the release dates are holding, for now. But have there been any leaks about the production, storylines, and characters of Season 3? Then the studio released an official Season 3 synopsis. Here is the studio's official pre-release synopsis of the third season of The Witcher. Quote, as monarchs, mages, and beasts of the continent compete to capture her, Geralt takes Ciri of Cintra into hiding. Determined to protect his newly reunited family against those who threaten to destroy it, entrusted with Ciri's magical training, Yennefer leads them to the protected fortress of Aretuza, where she hopes to discover more about the girl's untapped powers. Instead, they discover they've landed on a battlefield of political corruption, dark magic, and treachery. They must fight back, put everything on the line, or risk losing each other forever. This is broad brushstroke stuff. Have we managed to find out anything else though? Keep watching. Yes, it's all about the core Witcher family. Ciri's manipulations by the Wild Hunt's witch, Voleth Mir, left Geralt, Yennefer, and Ciri in a hugely complicated situation. Just to refresh your memory, Yennefer was prepared to sacrifice Ciri to retrieve her lost magical abilities and remember Ciri's murderous rampage when she was possessed. That scene in the Witcher Fortress Kaer Morhen, all of this was where Season 2 left off. Here's what we know. With the obvious rifts between Geralt, Yennefer, Ciri, and Vesemir, the core Witcher family will probably spend some quality time together to regroup. This may include attending the Blaviken Spring Festival. And there's more. And there are also exciting new cast additions. One of the most exciting additions to the cast is Shang-Chi's Menjer Zhong as Milva. Zhong's character Milva is a skilled archer who lived among the Dryads. She's empathetic with their battle against the expansion of the humans. Her character's destiny is to eventually join Geralt of Rivia on journey that will begin either at the end of the Season 3 or maybe at the beginning of Season 4. Missile is another new character straight from the books. Netflix describes her character as follows, quote, Missile is a member of the Rats, a gang of misfit teenagers who steal from the rich to give to themselves and sometimes the poor. She is street hard, suspicious of everyone, and out for revenge, until a chance meeting that will change everything. The biggest revelation of all came a month or two ago. Finally, the maestro that designed Cavill's famous fight scene is back. The unsurpassed action sequence of the series thus far is the Blaviken fight in the pilot, the sequence Henry Cavill is so proud of. The mastermind of that iconic sequence is Wolfgang Stegemann. Incidentally, Cavill himself brought Stegemann into the fold to reshoot that fight. The rest? Well, that's delicious television history. For a while, it looked like Stegemann would not be available for the third season of The Witcher due to commitments on the set of Mission Impossible: The Reckoning Part 1, but evidence of his return to The Witcher is mounting. This news first broke by the stunt performer on The Witcher Season 3, Matt Sheeran. With so much excitement and anticipation preceding the release of The Witcher Season 3, one wonders if the production will follow in the record-breaking footsteps of Season 1 and 2. The only way to find out is to wait for 2023 and whet your appetites with the prequel coming your way around Christmas.